That Japan is set to turn off its last working reactor this weekend, leaving one of the world's largest industrial nations without a source of nuclear energy for the first time in almost 50 years. The government has bowed to public pressure following last year's disaster at the Fukushima power plant after the catastrophic earthquake and tsunami. And for more on the impact of this shutdown, we're now joined live by James Corbett, editor of the Corbett Report. James, welcome to the program. So, in shutting down its reactors, is Japan taking an economic hit?
There's no doubt that it's taking quite an economic hit in a number of ways, and I think we can see that reflected most obviously by the fact that they are now forced to import much more oil and light natural gas and other energy materials in order to try to power the economy. But on the other hand, there is actually some surprises coming out of all of this, including the fact that the Tokyo Electric Power Company that operates the Fukushima Daiichi plant is actually projected to have a 4.5% surplus in energy over the summer months due to a number of factors, but including an increased use in geothermal energy. So there are some surprising indications coming out of this.
That's quite interesting. But higher energy costs due to the nuclear shutdown have led to the first national trade deficit for some time. How's Japan going to deal with paying more for more expensive power in troubled economic times generally?
Well, in the short run, I'm not sure there would be any way to really avoid that. And I think that's not just Japan. I think a lot of countries are facing that, given sanctions on Iran and other such things that are causing increases in energy prices generally. But like every other challenge, this does present a potential opportunity to Japan to exploit some of its other abilities to generate energy, including geothermal power. It's currently only generating about 0.5 gigawatts of power via geothermal power, but it has a potential for up to 23.5 gigawatts. Obviously, a lot of that's in national parks and in hot spring areas that are currently being used for tourism, but could be converted, at least potentially, to more energy generation. And Japan's ocean, its proximity to the ocean is actually something that could be used, exploited for generating tidal power, or even differential in temperatures in ocean currents can be used to generate power. The experimental technologies at the moment, but Japan could become a leading nation in those types of generation techniques.
And also, despite the public's call for greener energy solutions, the Tokyo government wants to turn some reactors back on. How can they reassure people's fears about nuclear power safety?
Well, that's a very, very important question right now. I don't think there is an easy way to reassure a public, especially because in the wake of the Fukushima accident, we've seen a Japanese population that's world-renowned for being so reserved and so conservative on a lot of issues, actually becoming motivated to really mount quite a strong political protest over this. And I think a silent majority that have been against nuclear power in this country in the past are now actually becoming a vocal majority, with protesters camping out outside of the energy industry ministry offices, and people going on hunger strikes. There was a large rally all around the country. I attended one in Osaka last month for the one-year anniversary of the 3/11 crisis. So there's definitely an indication that the public is not going to let the status quo continue very much any longer. Of course, the Japanese government now being pressured by the OECD and the World Economic Council and other organizations to restart the reactors. So I think we're going to see this coming to a head quite soon, but I don't think there's any sign that the public is going to let up on this.
All right, James Corbett, editor of the Corbett Report, thank you very much for sharing your views with us.